Hi, I'm Joe Johnson, your music host on the 70s Rock and Romance Cruise. I want to introduce you to a band that's making waves on our other StarVista live cruises. This is UGO, Urban Guerilla Orchestra. Music director Henri-McMillian on trumpet and this band have been the backbone of the party scene on the Soul Train cruise and on the Ultimate Disco cruise. They recently gathered at a soundstage to play some unique virtual shows for those cruises and decided, why not do a power set for the Rock and Romance Cruisers? We love the possibility of featuring these tremendous musicians, so check this for us only performance out, and you can see them live on the cruises I mentioned happening in 2022. Now, if you're booked on the Rock and Romance Cruise, we have a special announcement. You will see a special version of this band, Rockin' at the Pool. Henry is pulling together an all-star list of friends and musicians for a unique collaboration just for you, our Rock and Romance family. And they'll bring all the high energy power ballads of the 70s that remind you of the days when you were waving a lighter over your head, singing along side by side with your friends. So check out this performance and keep it on this channel. I'm going to turn up the volume on our Rock and Romance Cruise with a very special happy hour, power hour, right after you check out UGO, Urban Guerilla Orchestra, right here.
Once upon a time, not so long ago.
Doesn't make a difference if we make it all.
small town girl living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going anywhere. Just a city boy, born and raised in South Detroit. He took the midnight train going anywhere. Smell of wine and cheap perfume for a chance that they can share the night. It goes on and on and on and on. Stranger waiting, they're up and down the boulevard. Their shadows searching in the night. Street lights, people. Just to find emotion hiding somewhere.
clear words could not explain. Precious love, you held my life within your hands, created everything I am, taught me how to live again.
Hey there, it's Joe Johnson, your music host on the 70s Rock and Romance Cruise. I told you I would be back to present a happy hour, power hour from the 70s Rock and Romance Cruise from 2022. Now, this is a little bit of music from the artists that are going to be appearing on the cruise and maybe kind of refresh your memory a little bit. Grab a beverage, enjoy the little program here. We're going to take you through years and years of music. About, we're going to have probably something like 30 bands on board, plus all of our local favorites that you guys have come to know and love from StarVista. All right? Let's get this party going. What do you say? The Family Stone. Man, they are the ultimate pool party band, and they are so great. Jerry Martini is the original from the band, but even better, Sly and Cynthia, their daughter, Funstone, Phun, and she is so much fun to hang out with. She is a great singer, a great studio artist, and an amazing performer on the pool stage. So have a great time with Sly's Family Stone. Thank you for letting me be myself. Hot fun in the summertime. I want to take you higher. Dance to the music as you're hearing. It's going to be a great time. So that's our first artist I want to tell you about. Let's get a little bit of love. This song, Lost in Love, was a breakout hit for them in 1980. I bought a copy. You probably bought one or two. Now, this song went up to the top of all the charts, became the realization of their dreams of having hit records. Well, I remember playing it on the radio, hearing it on the radio over and over again. Then, All Out of Love was their second hit. They took that up the charts just as well. So, Australia's Air Supply, they're going to be joining us on the second opportunity on the Rock and Romance Cruise for 2022. And I can't wait to see those guys on board. They're going to be having a great time. They're so warm and friendly. They'll take pictures. They walk around and sing all day on deck. So, enjoy Air Supply on the 70s Rock and Romance Cruise, February 19th through 26th of 2022. Okay, you ready for B.J. Thomas? Absolutely. You're going to be hooked on B.J. Thomas. He is a warm and friendly guy. Just an old country gentleman, man. He is so sweet, and he has got stories about all the old days, and he's got lots of hits. This one, I know you know, Hooked on a Feeling. This is the biggest version. Of course, that one band did the Ooga Chaga version. He doesn't like that one. But he also did Don't Worry Baby and Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. Let me give you a little fact about B.J. Thomas that you may not know. Now, he holds the record for having the longest song title as a #1 hit. So, in other words, the song was a #1 hit, but it had the longest title of any song that ever went to #1. And we're going to play it for you right here. So go ahead and listen and see if you can figure it out. I'll tell you when the title starts, and you can count along and see how long it is. Pretty cool accolade for B.J. Thomas.
Somebody done somebody wrong. Song.
Right after Hey, this will be the beginning of the song.
Hey, won't you play another Somebody Done Somebody Wrong song and make me feel at home.
What a song, what a career this guy has had, and we can't wait to see him back on the 70s Rock and Romance Cruise. It's going to be so fantastic. The guy sold more than 70 million records. All right, let's take you right over to 10cc. Now, 10cc has never been on the 70s Rock and Romance Cruise, and you're going to love them because I remember all these songs. They just go right to my memory. They were, my brain was locked on 10cc in 75 and 76. My last 2 years of high school. And this one, The Things You Do for Love, 1976, December. Huge hit.
Too many broken hearts are falling in the river. Too many lonely
Great songwriting, great lyrics. The Things We Do for Love. Now, I'll tell you one of the songs that I love the most from these guys that really made an impression on me is I'm Not in Love. Now, this song is just a beautiful, beautiful song. It was in the blockbuster film Guardians of the Galaxy, which grossed over $635 million. I like it because that was the year I put a stereo system in my car, about 1975, and the sounds going between the front and the back speakers with I'm Not in Love were some of the best I've ever heard to this day. So remember, you're going to catch 10cc on board the 70s Rock and Romance Cruise. So I hope, prepare to be in love with their music. This is so great. 10cc on the 70s Rock and Romance Cruise. All right, you guys ready to party with War? Well, War was raging in real life, but they named themselves that because they said it was their mission to spread a message of brotherhood and harmony and fun, and they did it with this one, Low Rider. You picture Cheech and Chong singing this, driving down the streets of California? Now, War is a great party band, too, a lot like the Family Stone. They play the pool stage, and they are just incredible. Cisco Kid, Slipping into Darkness, The World is a Ghetto, Summer, and one of their biggest hits when they teamed up with Eric Burden of the Animals to do Spill the Wine, and that was a #1 hit. Don't miss War on the Rock and Romance Cruise 2022. It's going to be so great. Now, this next artist has never been on the 70s Rock and Romance Cruise with us, but you know him as half of Loggins and Messina. How did it start for him? Well, he was first he was a recording engineer. Then he joined Buffalo Springfield for 3 albums and a little bit of a tour there. And he realized, I want to do my own thing. So he formed a second band on his own with Richie Furay. The band was called Poco. So we've had them on the Rock and Romance Cruise before. But Jim spent a couple of years with Poco as Poco, and they decided, I really love producing and engineering and recording. So his record company hooked him up with a young up-and-coming singer named Keni Loggins. I could picture him today. And Jim's job was to produce for him, but they ended up having so much in common that they formed the first album called Sittin' In. And this is one of their biggest hits. Your mama don't dance, your daddy don't rock and roll. Great thing about Jim Messina, he's going to tell stories of his times with Loggins and Messina. On stage, they had 7 albums that they pre-recorded. They did a bunch of live albums, and of course, they toured even as recently as 2005. So they're great. So all I have to say is, out of the car, long hair! I can't wait for Melissa Manchester to come on board the 70s Rock and Romance Cruise. Her first big hit was Midnight Blue in 1975, and I remember it well. It kind of set the scene for her. She'd had a couple of albums out before that, but this kind of a conversation between a husband and wife late at night.
Whatever it is, it'll keep till the morning.
I've never heard her sing this in person, Midnight Blue, and it's just such a beautiful song. Let's wait for the hook here. Fantastic. Played over and over on FM radio. Absolutely. Now, you got to remember this song, a couple of years later, was at the top of the charts. It was a Grammy winner for Melissa Manchester. In fact, beat out a lot of songs like Physical and Gloria by Laura Branigan. And you should hear how she talks about you. She'll be singing this for us on the 70s Rock and Romance Cruise. Melissa Manchester. And she still does this song live to this day. It's just fantastic. Melissa Manchester going to be back on the 70s Rock and Romance Cruise. They're actually making her first appearance. Her other hits are Looking Through the Eyes of Love, Don't Cry Out Loud, Coming from the Rain, and many others. Now, when the Beatles formed Apple Records in 1968, they decided to put a bunch of artists on their label that could be just as successful as they were. They wanted to be businessmen and record moguls. Well, the very first band to join the Apple label for the Beatles was a band called Badfinger. They were originally called the Ivies. Paul McCartney wrote their first hit called Come and Get It. But right after that, they started writing their own hits, and this was one of the first. It's called No Matter What. Badfinger.
No matter what you are,
fantastic.
I will always be with you.
They also had a song called Day After Day and Baby Blue. Now, Baby Blue was used in the final episode of Breaking Bad, so maybe you remember that. So we're going to be on with Joey Molland, original member of Badfinger, and that's going to be fantastic. 70s Rock and Romance Cruise. He is coming back to join us. You'll get to meet Joey. He's so fun. Such a great performer as well. Now, hey, guess who's joining us on the Rock and Romance Cruise? That wasn't a question. That was, guess who is joining us on the 70s Rock and Romance Cruise? And they're going to do this one, right? That's right. They were powerhouse hitters in America. Of course, they're from Canada, but the fact that they sing these songs for Americans, they're making their return to the 70s Rock and Romance Cruise. 14 top 40 hits, including These Eyes, Clap for the Wolfman, Hand Me Down World, No Time, Star Baby, Share the Land, Undone, laughing. Oh, man. What a band to have on board the 70s Rock and Romance Cruise. They're going to be so much fun. Guess who? American Woman right there. This next 70s Rock and Romance band can hold their own. That is a band called Foreigner. Now, we had a Foreigner on before. They were from Canada. This Foreigner is an American Foreigner, and they had tons of hits. Hot-Blooded, Jukebox Hero, Waiting for a Girl Like You, Feels Like the First Time, Urgent, Head Games, Dirty White Boy, and this one, of course, Hot-Blooded. I don't know if I've ever heard a louder concert on board the 70s Rock and Romance Cruise, but this was so great. Hot-Blooded is so fantastic. And all of their hits from Foreigner, they're going to be joining us February 19th through 26th on the Rock and Romance Cruise. You're also going to chance to meet and hang out with Peter Asher of Peter and Gordon fame. Lately, he's been touring as Peter and Jeremy Clyde of Chad and Jeremy. But Peter has written a book. He's also a guest artist on Sirius XM. Now, how does he fit into the 70s? Well, he was James Taylor's producer and also Linda Ronstadt's manager and producer, and he produced several #1 hits for both of those artists. So he's got great 70s stories too. He's met everybody in rock and roll. He's been to all the induction events, and he's really a superstar, and he loves to meet everybody and perform and tell stories and introduce the bands as well. So Mr. Peter Asher will be on board. You're also going to enjoy Toast. Toast is a tribute to the band Bread, David Gates of Bread. I used to call it my date tape. I had an 8-track tape of Bread songs, and that was the tape that went in the car when you had a date one night. So enjoy Toast. They're making their first appearance on the 70s Rock and Romance Cruise. Plus Bee Gees Gold, the Newbies, and Joel Mason, his Elton, his Billy Joel show, and his ZZ Twist show will just blow your mind. And more bands and artists to be announced as we go along. I'm your music host, Joe Johnson, 70s Rock and Romance Cruise. Book it, rockandromancecruise.com. Plenty of cabins in the middle levels. There are plenty of balconies and rooms with portholes where you can see the ocean go by. And we're going to have a great time. rockandromancecruise.com. I hope you've enjoyed our special happy hour, power hour. Thanks for watching. Hope you had a little beverage to cool you down. My name is Joe Johnson. Thanks for watching. I'll see you back here real soon.